The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, welcome to this week's edition of Aging Horizons. Today we'll be talking about Medicare, what it is, how it helps you, how you become eligible for it, and how it pays the bills. It's really interesting stuff. Once you become eligible, it helps pay your medical bills, some of your drug bills, maybe your therapy bills that the doctor refers you to. So we'll define that a whole lot more, so stay tuned.
Benefits can be complicated. Getting help shouldn't be. Montana Veteran Service Officers offer free, confidential assistance to help veterans understand and receive the benefits they've earned, state, federal, and beyond. There's never a charge, only support. Connect with your local VSO today. Call 406-324-3742 or visit veterans.mt.gov. Montana Serving Veterans.
Brought to you by Montana Veteran Affairs Division and this station.
It's been 27 years. I never thought I'd still be smoking, but here I am, COPD and all. I'm about to have a granddaughter. There's so much to show her, but I'm scared I won't be able to keep up like I used to. I kind of gave up on myself on quitting. But it's different now. I want to be here for her and for my daughter.
Hey caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
How about some good old-fashioned me time for starters?
Michelle Smith, Helena.
Or maybe play a high-stakes game of volleyball with my other kiddo. Gotta teach him who's boss, you know? I could even make my famous spinach lasagna. Never hear any complaints about that.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it.
Hey Mom, more lasagna please?
Sometimes the difference between having the life-saving medications you need and going without is the premium on your Medicare drug insurance. If you're a Montana resident enrolled in the Medicare prescription drug program, you may be eligible to receive help with your premiums, even if you own your home or other assets or think you may have too much income. Call or visit the Big Sky RX website today to find out if you qualify.
There you go, ma'am. See you next month.
Thank you.
Welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior Long-Term Care Division. Today we're talking about Medicare. We're talking about what it is all about, and we'll define a lot of different terms for you so you can better understand what you can discuss or what someone tells you, what's it all about. Joining us is Janet Stellman. You're with the Department of Public Health and Human Services Senior Long-Term Care Division Medicare person. Man, we're talking Medicare. Let's start at the top. There's the A, B, C's, and D's. What are those?
So I manage the SHIP program, which is the State Health Insurance Assistance Program, and we help people with Medicare. That's what we do. So Medicare, I love talking about Medicare. So Medicare is a federal program that you get when you're eligible for when you turn 65, or if you've been determined disabled by Social Security for 2 years and you've been receiving it for 2 years, Social Security disability. So it's a federal program, and there's Part A, which is your hospital, Part B, which is your doctor services, and Part D, which is your drug benefit. So that's one way to get it, because there's two ways to get your Medicare. It used to be there's only one way to get it. Now there's two ways. So you can do your Part A, Part B, and pick up a drug plan, or you can do what's called go with the Medicare Advantage plan or Medicare health plans. And those are private companies that they administer your Part A, your Part B, and your drug benefits. So instead of billing your red, white, and blue card, you're going to get a card from Humana or United Healthcare or Blue Cross Blue Shield, and they're going to take care of your Medicare services. So they have to cover everything traditional Medicare covers, and usually it covers some extras like some dental and vision and stuff like that. So that's helpful to people. The thing about Medicare Advantage plans is you have to use in-network doctors, and it's not available everywhere in Montana because Medicare Advantage plans, they depend on networks of providers. And if you're living in Circle, Montana, there are not a lot of providers around there, so they might not have a Medicare Advantage plan out there. So also with traditional Medicare, you can pick up what's called a Medigap or a Medicare supplement. That's a private plan that helps you with your your A and B. So traditional Medicare pays 80% and you pay 20% after deductibles and stuff. Well, if you picked up a Medicare supplement or a Medigap, they're called, it can help you with that 20% that you're responsible for. And those can range anywhere from $100 to a couple $100 a month. They can be kind of expensive, and there's like 10 different ones of them that you can choose from. This one being the most basic all the way up to a real robust one, but you're going to be paying a little bit more for that robust one. So,
well, now, you're kind of rattling through those, and I understand them, but I imagine some of our viewers are going, huh? And fortunately, we have a network out there that's designed to help them. It's the SHIP, State Health Insurance and Assistance Program. Tell us about that. How does it make it understandable to our...
Right. So we have over 100 SHIP counselors across the state. Most of them are located in the local area agencies on aging, and you can give them a call and make an appointment with them, and they can make time to see you. They can help you get enrolled in Medicare. They can help you with Medicare questions that you may have. They can help you apply for any helping programs, Medicaid also. They can help you during open enrollment, which is coming up this fall, to check your plan for next year. They can help you with appeals and also any kind of fraud and abuse type stuff that might come up with your Medicare.
If anything about Medicare, they can help you, and they want you to call them. If you have a question, what's on my bill? Is this a double bill? I'm not certain about something. Is this covered? Give them a call, right?
Right. And we're confidential. We are one-on-one assistance. We're unbiased. We don't have any skin in the game, meaning we don't sell you anything.
Right.
So we don't have a reason to direct you to one plan over the other or one thing over the other, and we don't. We empower you to make your own decisions.
Right. Now, we're coming up on mid-year for our health insurance programs. What's an important aspect of mid-year? What are some of the things we should be aware of?
Well, usually when you're in a plan, whatever you're in, you are in it for the year. So at the beginning of the year, there's a general enrollment period, which allows you time to, if you didn't already get into Medicare when you were first eligible for it, you could get in during the general enrollment. Well, that ended March 31st. There was also the Medicare Advantage open enrollment period, which allowed you to switch to a different Medicare Advantage plan or go back to original Medicare. Well, that ended March 31st. So now we have the rest of the year. So there are what's called special enrollment periods. So you might meet a reason, special enrollment period, to change your Medicare plan if you're not happy with it, whether it be your Part D plan or your Medicare Advantage plan. So maybe you move, or maybe you become eligible for Medicaid or extra help or Medicare Savings Program. Maybe you go in or out of a nursing home. Maybe you get on Big Sky RX. There's a lot of different reasons that you may be able to meet one of those reasons to allow you to change for the rest of the year. The other thing that's coming up here at the end of the year, October 15th through December 7th, is open enrollment. So open enrollment is an important time to look at your coverage and see what your coverage is and see if it's going to be the best coverage for you next year, because what was good for you this year may not be the best for you next year. So it's important to contact your SHIP counselor earlier, like early September, and get on their books, because that is our busiest time of year, and they'll want to get you in for an appointment.
They can evaluate your year, and they can look at different plans. Well, we quickly draw into a close on this segment, and when we're talking about the end of the year options you have, you can evaluate, did your plan meet your medical needs? Did your medical expectations change? And what do you need for the next year? So we'll talk about that and our SHIP counselors and so much more. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Sergeant Jones. Please respond. I was separated from my squad. Requesting backup.
The human heart. Even at its strongest, it's a fragile muscle. Chest and arm pain, shortness of breath, are signs of a heart under attack. But 3 numbers can save a life. Dial 911 at the first sign of a heart attack. Quick response from medical experts can save your life.
I was 45 and it happened to me, a heart attack.
Dialing 911 saved Ryan's life. Now he's here and he's healthy.
This message sponsored by Mission Lifeline Montana.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we'll continue our discussion about Medicare and soon a little bit about Medicaid. But in our last segment, we're talking just about everything about Medicare except when you become eligible to sign up for it. And Janet, can you tell us when can we sign up?
Right. So most people, it's the 7-month period window by your 65th birthday. So 3 months before, the month of, or 3 months after.
Mm-hmm.
So you come in 3 months before your 65th birthday and we help you sign up, or you call Social Security because Social Security is the enrollment arm of Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you signed up 3 months before your birthday month, it would start your birthday month.
Yeah.
So if you signed up the month after your birthday, it would start the next month. So
okay.
You know, if you want it right when you turn 65, get in there those first 3 months before your birthday.
Right.
Other times to sign up are maybe you're working and you turn 65 and your work insurance or your spouse's work insurance is deemed good enough and you don't have to apply or you don't have to take your Medicare right away.
Mm-hmm.
And avoid paying that $200 a month premium. You know, you can do that too, but you really need to talk to your HR when you become Medicare eligible because you want to see how your insurance is going to work with Medicare and if you even need to take it at that time. Okay.
Right.
So if you lose your insurance, maybe you retire,
Mm-hmm.
and now that you have to look at Medicare, you have a special 8-month enrollment period to get into Medicare. So you have some time, but of course you won't have any coverage after your insurance ends.
Yes.
So the quicker the better usually. So.
And now, isn't there a penalty also? You have that 7 months, and if you don't sign up or let them know that you have other insurance, there's a bit of a penalty.
Right, there can be a penalty with both Part B and Part D, the drug benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't get into Medicare when you're first eligible for it, or when you're first required to have it,
mm-hmm.
you don't have any other insurance. For Medicare B, it's like a 10% per month per year that you're out.
Yeah.
And that's a lifetime penalty.
Yeah.
With the drug benefit, it's 1% per month that you weren't in when you should have been. So, and that's because you don't buy fire insurance once your house is caught on fire.
Right.
You know, you need it there just in case, and we need it, or Medicare needs people in there helping to pay their premiums and not just come in when they're sick,
Right.
you know.
And need to know that you're there. Well, now let's go to what we call the IRA, is negotiated drugs. That's kind of a new thing that's come along, and that's a real benefit to the Medicare people. Tell us more.
Right, so I think the last hurrah with Biden was the IRA, which is the Inflation Reduction Act. And what there was is they would new law that they would negotiate certain drugs that a lot of seniors and people with disabilities are on, and they're costly drugs. And so what they did is they negotiated with the drug companies these 10 drugs, and they should be cheaper for the average Medicare beneficiary. And some of those drugs include Eliquis, Jardiance, Xarelto, Juniva, Farxiga, and Entresto. So some of those, Novolog's on there too. So those should be cheaper. And going forward, every year they're going to add 10 more drugs or so many more drugs to that negotiated price. And it seems like when we can negotiate with the drug, negotiate the prices instead of just accept what they're giving us, it seems to lower the drug costs. So.
And it really benefits our seniors. And you said all those words correctly, I think. Well, I'm impressed.
Yeah, I stopped there because they were getting worse. So I'm like, yeah.
Well, now, people confuse Medicare with Medicaid, Medicaid with Medicare. But now tell us about Medicaid and how it interacts with Medicare.
Okay, so Medicaid is a federal program also, but it's given to the states to direct how their Medicaid program is going to look. So you've seen one state's Medicaid program, you've seen one state's Medicaid program. They're all different. Okay. You come from California and expect the same kind of Medicaid, that's not going to happen. So there's several different kind of Medicaid programs. There's kiddo programs for the kiddos. There's programs for families. The ones we're going to really concentrate on talking about are those for people 65 and older, and those who are been determined disabled by Social Security. So there's Medicaid that pays for nursing home care. There's Medicaid that pays for like assisted living. There's just general Medicaid. There is a program that I love to talk about, that if you're a senior, a person with disability, you're on Social Security, and you work a few hours a month, there might be a Medicaid program for you called Medicaid for Workers with Disabilities, which is a great program and has a lot higher income and resource standards than the regular Medicaid program. Okay. So I love to talk about that, and you only have to work one qualifying hour a month to get that. And it can save you lots of money and give you Medicaid. So there's all different kinds. The nursing home, the assisted living, those are, especially if there's a spouse involved, there's a figuration. We hear, oh, I can't go into nursing home, Medicaid's going to take our house or make my husband, not be able to live. Well, they don't want to impoverish that community spouse, so that one that's going to stay in the community. So they look at all the income and resources, and they decided if that community spouse can keep some of the resources and keep some of that nursing home spouse's income to help stay in the community. So you don't have to sell your house necessarily if you go, especially if you're living there and your spouse goes into a nursing home, you don't have to sell your house. And Medicaid, then you can have Medicaid to help pay for those nursing home, because nursing home is $8,000 to $10,000 a month. Ooh. Assisted living is $4,000 to $6,000 a month or more, depending on where you go. And I don't know, most of us don't make that much our Social Security sure the heck isn't going to be that much to cover that. And it wipes through investments real quick too.
And so, but we do have an individual, we call it a SHIP counselor, that can help you out with the complexities of those things.
And we can help you apply.
And we'll talk more about that in the next segment. Stay tuned. That one.
With as many as 1 in 10 Americans at risk for Alzheimer's or some other form of dementia, chances are someone you know and love will receive that diagnosis. When that happens, you may well feel devastated, but know that you are not alone. Help is available. You don't have to face dementia by yourself. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $70 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen.
Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected.
1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
I was angry and upset when the doctor told me I have diabetes. I just didn't want to deal with it, the needles and the diet restrictions. But after I started to learn about it, those feelings changed. I was at risk for a heart attack caused by high blood sugar. That got my attention. I started watching my diet and making sure I got enough exercise every day. I want to be around for my grandkids, and now that I know what to do, it seems like a small price to pay.
Ask your doctor about diabetes education or visit montana211.org.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're continuing our discussion about Medicare. In this segment, we're going to talk about some helping programs. There are a number of little programs out there that you may or your loved one be eligible for, and they have different eligibility levels. So we'll discuss those, and we'll also discuss more about our SHIP counselors who are here to help you throughout the state. Rejoining us is our SHIP program manager, Janet Stillman, and Help Programs. Tell us about them.
Again, I say this all the time. I love talking about helping programs because it makes such a difference in people's lives. So the first one I like to talk about is the Medicare Savings Program. So the Medicare Savings Program, you go to the Medicaid office or the Medicaid application to apply for it. But what it does is it helps pay for your Part B premium. So that Part B premium is $202 a month this year. So $202 a month when you're only making $1,500, you know, $200 back is kind of nice. Yeah. So there's 3 levels of the Medicare Savings Program: QIMBY, SLIMBY, and QI. I always say QMB is the Cadillac model because not only does it pay for your $202 a month premium, but let's say for Part A, most of us get Part A premium free, but some of us, if we haven't worked 40 credits or 10 years, we have to pay for our Part A, and if we had to pay the whole thing, it's like $580 a month. So if you were one of those people that don't have enough credits, if you were on QMB, which has the lowest income and resource, you can, you know, it's for the people that make the least bit, it would pay that Part A premium, your Part B premium, the 202, and it also acts as like a supplement to Medicare, and it pays that. Remember I said Medicare is an 80-20 split? It would pay that 20%.
Yeah.
So that's pretty nice. The second level, which has a little bit higher income limits, is SLIMBY or SLMB. It just pays Medicare premium Part B, so the $202 a month. There's also another third one called the QI, and you can make a little bit more money for that one. And again, it just pays the Medicare Part B premium. But there's a difference between that and SLIMBY. You can, with QI, the one with the highest income limits, you can't be on Medicaid. And I think it has to do with the funding, where the funding comes from. So if you're on Medicaid, you have to choose. Do you want the the program that's going to pay your $202 a month premium, or do you want to be on Medicaid? So you got to decide which one you want there if it comes to that. Yeah. All of them allow you to change your drug plan every month if you wanted to. It also allows you, if you become eligible for those programs, to enroll in, maybe you missed enrolling in Medicare when you were supposed to. If you're eligible for these programs, it'll enroll you mid-year, so that's good. So those are cool programs, nice. They also make you eligible for what's called the low-income subsidy. The low-income subsidy is programs that help you pay for your Part D, your drug benefits. So it is, you apply for it through the Social Security Administration, and it's a real quick 2-page application, and they'll follow up with anything they may need for verification. And what it does is it helps you with the premiums for the Part D, the drug benefits. It helps you with the co-payments, the deductibles. If you qualify for low-income subsidy, you don't have to meet the deductible of, I think it's $610 this year. Your co-payments are going to be anywhere from $1 to probably about $12 per prescription, and you're going to max out at the $2,100, which is the Part D benefit maximum this year, maximum out of pocket for covered drugs. So, great program. It makes prescription drugs affordable for people. Right. So there is, of course, income and resource guidelines, but they're pretty generous. And so, again, that's applied for through the Social Security Administration. The third one I like to talk about is the Big Sky RX. It came came in through the Schweitzer administration, and it was part of the Medicare Modernization Act, which brought the prescription drugs to Medicare back in 2003, because prior to 2003 there was no drug coverage. So from 1965, when it was created, through to 2003, there was no drug coverage for Medicare. And so this program, every state had to come up with this what's called a pharmaceutical assistance program, and so Montana created Big Sky RX with tobacco tax. And so what that program does is it helps those folks that are have a little bit higher income and resources, and it will pay if they're eligible, it will pay their Part D premium up to like $42 a month or something like that. And so it's just a little bit of help, a little bit of help for those people that don't usually qualify for things. And so, and it's through the tobacco tax. So. And it's still running strong. It's a great program. So.
And these are great benefits. And we have a website and a telephone number. Call up a SHIP person. They'll help you. At the website, you can see what some of these programs are. And sometimes people look at one program, I'm not eligible, so they stop. But go to a SHIP counselor. Let them help you.
Because you don't know what the eligibility is. You may not necessarily know the eligibility. Even our SHIP counselors, we may look at your income and say, ooh, they're really close. We're still going to help you apply, because we're not eligibility people. We're just helping you. It appears that you might be eligible. We're never going to tell you are eligible or you're going to be eligible, but it looks like you may be eligible. Let's apply for it. And so SHIP counselors can help you do that. And again, that's my favorite thing to do with this program. And I know a lot of the SHIP counselors love to help people like that too, and see them be able to save some money. So SHIP counselors are great. They're great. They have a lot of compassion and empathy, and they listen, and they're confidential, and they're free.
They're free. They're free. And they're statewide. And the telephone number we have on the screen will ring into your local area agency, so you don't have to worry about.
We've had a little problem with that number, but hopefully it's working by the time this airs. Yes.
That's great. Well, Janet, thank you for everything that you do in serving Montanans and our elderly. It's really nice that you do that, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.
And for our viewers, again, we're talking Medicare, and I can understand if this sounds complicated to you, and you want to get a loved one to help you. Sure, help them or get them to help you, but call up a SHIP counselor. They'll sit down with you, they'll take the time, they'll explain it, and then you can decide what's best for you. For Aging Horizons, I'm Brian Lamore. Thank you for joining us.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.